Good. Okay. So we have completed the character date types, number date types, and date time date types. So next is large objects date types. So by using character date types, what are the character data types, guys? Char, where char2, char and where char2. So what is the maximum size we can store the data into the where char2 date type? What is the maximum size? By using char or char,
4,000 bytes, sir. 4,000 bytes, sir.
4,000 bytes. So if you want to store more than 4,000 bytes character data, so is it possible by using char or var2? Then it's not possible. It's not possible. That's the reason we have a large objects data types. By using large objects data types, we can save the, I mean, we can create or we can insert the data more than 4,000 data types. So large offset data types is used to store large objects such as image, video, graphic, text, audio. So if you want to save, if you want to save images, okay, it's less. If you want to save videos, so definitely it's a 4,000 bytes. 4,000, definitely 4,000 bytes. 4,000 bytes. Okay. So 1024 KB is equal to 1 MB. So the same way, if they want to store video and graphics and text, it's a more than 4,000 bytes. So that's the reason RKL has introduced large object data types is used to store the large objects such as images, videos, graphics, text, audios, and all. So if you are saving the large objects, means the same way, these are the dynamic data types. You know, right? What is dynamic data type? Dynamic data type doesn't waste the storage. Even if you declare the size is more, but you are insert the data only limited data, the remaining it cannot apply the blank space. It will send back to the database. Whereas static data types, it will apply the blank pads. Okay. Following LOD data types are in SQL. So we have 4 LOD data types. So mainly these three only. So I will tell you. So with respect to character, we have CLab. With respect to character data, if you want to store the character data, you have CLab, character large objects. So CLab data types is used to store large blocks of character data into database. Large data, I mean large blocks of character data. I mean, it's a more than 4,000 bytes data. If you want to store in character, you have to use the CLab, character large objects. It will store maximum up to 4 bytes. It will store maximum up to 4 bytes. It will store maximum up to 4 bytes. Okay. So if you want to store character large objects, we have these 4. So CLab is a character large objects which is used to store the large blocks of the data. So it will store maximum up to 4 GB. So store single byte and multiple bytes character data. So even it can store the single byte data as well and multiple bytes data as well. So while you are declaring the CLab, you no need to declare the size of for that. Like if we put S number, varchar2 means size is mandatory. So in character, size is not mandatory. By default, it will take 1 byte. The same way, when you are declaring the syllab, character large objects, so we have to declare we no need to declare the size. So same n syllab. What is n syllab? By if you want to store any language in the database, then you have to use the n syllab, national character large object, national character large object. Okay, national character large object. So national language large object, national character large object means in national wise any language you can insert into the database. By default, how they have developed, we can allow to use only, we can allow to use only English language, right? By default, if you want to store other along with the English, if you want to store multiple databases, then you have to go for the NCLab, national character large objects. Okay, so this is also up to 4 GB. So now if you want to store more than 4000 bytes in the character data, then you have to choose the CLab, character large object. Clear? Next. So what is B file? What is BLab? So if you want to store image, one image or video. So if you want to, B file is used to store the location of the images and other files. For example, this is one image. If you see, this is one image. So this is one image. So what it will do, B file, it will store this is one image. What does B file will do? It will store this location where that file is there, that will store location. Where file is there, that will store location. Okay. So whereas BLab, what it will do? BLab data type is the same data type of B file data type to store unstructured binary object. Unstructured binary object is nothing but binary data. Unstructured binary data is nothing but A. There is no structure. If you tell, for example, in character, Venky, there is a structure. It is a word. It is having alphabetical. But image, we doesn't tell, right? What is the structure for that? We can't assume that for video, what is the structure that if you are taking any graphics, we doesn't know what is structure for that. If you take it audio, there we can't assume that what is the structure for that. So BLab and B file is used to store the unstructured binary data. Unstructured binary data into a operating system or database. Unstructured binary data stored into the database by using BLab and B file and BLab. So B file, what it will do? If you are storing image, what is the image location? If you are storing video, what is the location of that video in your system? If you are storing the some audio file, what is the location of that file? It will store B file. BLab is used to store the actual data. B file is used to just to store the location only. It doesn't store any file. It just to capture the location. But BLab is used to store the actual data of that file. Either the image, either the video, either audio file, either the graphics. So where we use this B file and BLab is So we used to store the images into the database in real time. We used to store the images of the database. This B file and blab is used to store the images into the database. So why we need to store images with respect to, if you take it as a bank employee or insurance holder, they have to, I mean, some colleges, in universities, they have to store the signature and the pick of the applicant. If you taking the bank employee means bank customer photo they have to store, as well as signature they have to store. So that's the reason if you join any organization or if you are opening any application, now everything is digitalization, right? So if you want to open a, if you are joining any organization, any company now, what they are telling you, you have to upload the image and signature in a image. So while you are uploading in their link, how they are going to store in their image? By using this only. They have developed their database by one procedure by using B file and blab data types. So that those B file, what it will do, it's simple, you can observe. File means B file. It will store the file location. Lab means large object. Binary large object, binary file. It will store by blab means large object. It will store the actual data of that image. What is the image? So see, blab is used to store the location of the image or other files, and used to identify the location of the image, where that pic or where that video is, that location or files, through the procedures. So we can discuss these two data types is the PLSQL concept, not SQL concept. So we never use the CLab and CLab and all, but if you get the requirement, you have to suppose ready to work on that. But I never seen the CLab and CLab data type. Mostly I've seen varchar 2. It's a, we used to declare around 255 bytes like that. Okay. Any doubts, guys? Large object data types.
It's good, sir.
Fine.
Okay, fine, sir.
Okay. So it's very simple. CLab is a character large object. So if you want to store the character data, then or string data, you have more than 4,000 bytes, then you have to choose this CLab. Next, long and raw data type. Long and raw data type. Long and raw data type. Okay. Long and raw data type. So long and raw data type is used to store variable string data within the predefined length. Variable string data means it's a dynamic data type. It's a dynamic data type. It's a dynamic data type. So variable string means, for example, you have declare one 4 GB data type. You have declare one 4 GB data type. So I have to show you practically. I will have to declare okay. So if you take it, if you blab and this this one I need to tell, right? Create table. What is table name? Table name is a stud9. So SL number, student ID. What data type I have to take, guys? Either the integer or number. So S name varchar2. Some 20. Next. Student name done. Next, image of that student. So how to store the image, guys? Which data type? blob, actual blob. So b file no need to declare for you. No need to declare you, because by using procedure within the procedure, we will just copy this file location. We will just copy this file location and we will put in the procedure b file by using. So you no need to declare for that. Next is address, addr. So I am taking the CLab. I'm taking the CLab. So it's already there. Same student name table. Table is created. Describe the stud blab and CLab. So we registered the declare the integer. So auto converted into the number data with the 38 bytes. Clear how to declare this CLab and blab? The same way, now we have long and raw data type. Long and raw data type. Long and raw data type. Okay, there are 3 data types. Now I think one people is joining. So long and raw data type. So if you observe blob data type by default, how much bytes, guys? blob data type, it's up to 4 GB it can store, up to 4 GB. So, but I don't need to provide this much space for that column. So we declare this here image blob. By default, it will take 4 GB, right? So my requirement is that it's a below 200. So they will put some restrictions if you observe. If you are applying any like any competitive exam, or if you are joining any new organization, so they will put some restriction. The image should not be more than 2 bytes, 2 MB, or more than 1.5 MB. Like that, they will put restriction. In signature, it should not be more than 500 bytes. Why they will put restriction means the column they have declared like this. So if you declare 4 GB means the database has to be allocated 4 GB. So I don't need to give that much, because that column is just an image. It's not a video or graphics. It is a video or graphic means then you can go for the this one blob. 4 GB. So by that situation, I need to just store my image and signature. It's a below 2000 bytes, and I have to put the restriction to the customers or employees, whoever is joining my organization. So how we can put that one? We have to declare the column by using. There are same long and raw data types is also used to store the binary data. Binary data is nothing but a image, graphics, videos, text, audio, those things. Okay, so for raw data type, you must and should declare the size. This parenthesis indicates that mandatory. So mandatory, you have to declare the size for raw data type. Okay, raw data type is used to store the binary data such as image or graphics or audios and some large blocks. Same blob also same, right? But here maximum size is it will allow 2000 bytes. Maximum size is 2000 bytes. Long data type is used to store variable string data within predefined line. So this type is used for a backward compatibility. Use CLab instead of long type. instead of long type. In real time, we never work on these things. Just we need to know what is long and what is this large objects. Large objects in real time we use these two, B file and below. Okay, so instead of this, if you declare the long data type, it is used for backward compatibility. So that's the reason CLab instead of declaring the long data type, you can go for the CLab. So the long data type is used to maximum 2 GB. So better avoid to declare this long data type. In real time also we never use. So instead of, if you get the requirement to use to store the data, go for the large object. So this is also long also is used to store the string data only. To store the string or character data, we have char, varchar2. Now we have discussed the CLab. Next, long. Next, langra. Langra data type is also same of long. Store the variable string data within predefined length. So this data type also used to backward compatibility. So if you get requirement to use the langra, then you can go for the blab data type. blab data type. Now ultimately you can tell me to store the string data, what and all to store the string data, what and all data types we have. To store the string data, what and all data types we have, guys? Tell me. To store our string or character data. Tell me, guys, what and all we have?
We have char and varchar.
Hello. Oh, I think my system audio is sorry. My system audio. Hey, you can tell me now. What and all we have?
Char and varchar, so varchar 2.
1 second. Only char and varchar we have?
Date time stamp, sir.
No, I am asking about the character data types. Char, char. So we have, it's a maximum size is 2000 bytes. 2000 bytes. Minimum no required. By default, it will take 1. Next, varchar 2. Maximum size is 4000 bytes. So now again we have long. Long is used to up to 2 GB, but long data type is used to store the string data only to 2 GB. But I suggest you to don't go for the long. It is a backward compatibility. So go for the CLab. If you get the requirement more than 4000 bytes, if you get the requirement to store the data, you can go for the CLab. What it will store? Up to 4 GB it will store. These all are the character. So if you want to store images or audios, some big data files, or videos or graphics, anything. So what and all data types we have? B file. So B file is used to store the used to store the location of the file. Next to raw is used to raw, and we have to mention the size. Raw data type is used to store same image and all. Maximum is 2000 bytes. Next, long raw. Long raw is also having the backward compatibility. So you should not go for the long here. Same way, long oils also backward compatibility. If you get the requirement more than 2000 bytes, then you should not go for this backward compatibility one. Just I'm explaining. So what we have to do, then you can go for the BLAB. BLAB is used to store up to 4 GB. Clear now? See here, if you get the requirement to store the more than 2000 bytes, then you have the alternative option varchar 2. So if you get the requirement more than 4000 bytes the data you have to store string data, then you have to go for the long and CLAB. But long is having the backward compatibility, so don't go for the long. You can simply choose the CLAB. Same way, if you want to store the images and audios, B file is B file, and along with the B file we use these data types. How we can use like this? See here, image is used to store the BLAB. Address, I feel address is used to store the more. I mean, its address is more than 4000 bytes. I feel so. By the time you have to go for the CLAB. For images or audios or videos, you have to go for the BLAB. Okay. So in real time, we use only these two, and B file and BLAB. Clear, guys? I just explained. We have the date types. I just explained. Next, row ID date type. Row ID date type. These all are the string data types, guys. Used to store the string data types. Or we have. So don't you go for the CLAB. Next, row ID data type. So row ID data type is used to store the actual address of the row. So for example, you are inserting one row. Select star from, I am taking one employee table. Here, do we have any row ID here? Row ID. So now see the magic. Row ID, comma, emp table dot star from emp. So here star indicates the all columns, and the employee table means, so I am telling this, so I don't need to put all columns manually. So if I put only dot star, I don't get the row ID column. So that's the reason we have to declare like this. emp dot star means employee table of all columns along with the row ID. Now we are insert one data, insert into emp of employee number, comma, ename, comma, dept number values. Employee number, just I am taking 1001. Ename is some Srinu. So dept number equal to some 40. So now one row is inserted. Now, did we inserted the row ID, guys, here? Row ID, this row ID.
No.
Did we insert it?
No.
No, sir.
But see, you can magic, you can see how it is generated, why it is showing here.
It is showing the address.
How it has been. So whenever you are inserting data in your database, automatically SQL server generate one address and it store the address of that row. Store the address of this row. So where it is showing ultimately in database. Where it is showing ultimately in database, right? Where it is showing ultimately in database. So if you go here, how it store? If you take, this is the hard disk. If you open the hard disk, it will be like this only. It will be not round shape. It will be like square shape. Square shape. Like this it will be. Like this it will be. So if you open this one, there will be screws. This 1 year total 4 screws will come to this one. If you open the screws, inside it will be like this, along with one small paper, light thin plastic paper will be there. If you open hard disk, so hard disk is nothing but a database, right? To store the data. So wherever it store the data, wherever it store the data, here wherever, for example, my data is storing here. My data is storing here. So the row ID, what it will do? It will store this address. It will store this address. If your data is storing here, the automatically Oracle server, it will capture that row ID and it will store the row ID for that row. So people will tell you there is an index concept. If you how there is a column is having 20,000 data, 20,000 records is there, rows, 20,000 rows is there. So by the time if you are retrieving the data, it will be the performance is not good. So by the time they will ask you how to improve the performance. There is a concept index called. We will create the index. So the index will store this address. So whenever you retrieve the data, it directly search with this row ID and it will fetch the data. It doesn't fetch all this table data. Clear? So row ID is a data type. Row ID data type present actual storage address of the row. Actual storage address of the row. So where it is stored, this is the actual address of that row. We no need to insert, or it is not allowed you to insert as well. Automatically by default Oracle server creates that address for that row. Okay, that is the actual address of that row. Next, it is used to remove the duplicate records from the table. So there is a very important interview question, how to remove a duplicate record, that we can discuss. There is a subquery concept. By using row IDs, we can remove the duplicate records. By using subquery, the subquery and row ID, we can remove the records. There are others as well. By using inline, by using rank, by using distance, we can remove. Please go on mute if you are not speaking. Step is coming. Okay, by using there are multiple options as well, but row ID, by using row ID also we will do. How it will do, we will explain in the subquery concept. Okay, row ID is a pseudo column. Pseudo column in the sense the column which is not appeared physically. Now let's see. Select what is the table, guys. Select star from EMP. Is that appearing column, is row ID is appearing here? Is row ID?
No, sir.
No. So pseudo column is nothing but the column is what they will ask guys, what is row ID? You have to tell this one. Row ID is a pseudo column. The column which is not appeared physically. Physically, it cannot show here. So it doesn't appear here physically, but available physically in every table. Available physically in the every table. How you need to know whether available is there or not? You have to declare manually like this. Manually like this. See, physically is available or not. Even if you take other table as well, row ID, select star from DEPT. See, is it appearing? No. If you take row ID, DEPT number, D name, even we can discuss, there is a separate concept for this. We can discuss that one there. Sorry. See. So when you mention only, then it is coming. So that's the reason here is by default it is not appearing, you see. So the column which is not appeared physically, but available in every table physically, is it available or not? See, is it available?
Yes.
Yes. So but when you mention the table name, it is not appearing. So that's the reason pseudo column, row ID is a pseudo column. The pseudo column means the column which is not appeared physically, but available physically in every table. So there is a separate concept for this row ID. There are some pseudo columns we have. There are some pseudo columns we have. There we can discuss clearly. Pseudo column concept is there. Not only row ID. See, these all are the pseudo columns. Curve val, next val, level, row ID, row number. We can discuss this row IDs, level row IDs. This curve val, next val is the one concept is there. One day we can discuss that one. You just remember that row ID is a pseudo column. Pseudo column. The column which is not appeared physically but available in a table, every table, that is called pseudo columns. Okay. Now usage of data types. How we have to declare data types? Column name, data type. So why I kept this one and this one means some data types is required, not required, not mandatory. Some data types is mandatory size. That's the reason both I kept. Create table employee ID, open parenthesis employee ID, number data type 10, first name varchar 2 255, last name varchar 2 255, gender. Why I have declared gender char guys?
It is of fixed length.
It's a fixed length. Like we can select M or F.
Yes.
Here size. Why I haven't declared size here? For
Default size is 1.
Yes. So we no need to declare the size. The default size is 1. If you want, you can declare. Next, photo of that employee. Why we have declared blab?
Because it is the image file.
Yes. Blab is a data type which is used to put the images, videos, and audio files. Unstructured binary data. There is no structure for that. There is no particular structure. We can't assume. If you want to store unstructured binary data, we have to go for the raw data type or blab data type. Okay, clear guys? Those all are the data types. Anyone is having any doubts on the data types?
Clear, sir.
Next, very important, guys. Just we can briefly discuss types of commands. Types of commands. Now, to create a table, what and all we need? Create table means table name required, column name we required, and the data types we required. So data types part we discussed, table name part we discussed, and column name part we discussed. Column name part we discussed. So yesterday I have received one question, guys. I thought to share with you. I forget it. Yesterday, previous batch guy requested me to write one exam. He is searching for the job and he got from the HCL one HCL exam. It's around 60 questions. So pass marks is the 44 questions. Sorry, 40 answer, 40 questions has to be correct. Then they can eligible for the interview. If you write that exam clear, then it will be one round only. If you're not clear, it will be 4 rounds. So what they asked in basic question, they asked for this one. Create table. Table name is select. Create table. Table name is some row num. Create table one update. Create table update. There are 2 wrong here. What and all 2 is the wrong?
One
Third
update,
one is
sir.
wrong. One update.
Like this. Tell me.
Row number and one number.
Any other answer? So this one you knew already, we discussed.
Yes.
And this one also we discussed. The table name should not be a Oracle keyword. Update is
Yes,
a
sir.
keyword, right? There is update
Yes.
statement, update EMP set. That is a DML statement. So you will know in further. So we should, these are the not correct. Not correct. Now you may ask me, this is also a select, also it's a keyword. Select statement. But we are giving.
But it's mentioned in single quotes.
Single quote. Here, why we need to use the double quotes means, if you put the column table name like this, so it will treat it as this is one table, this is as one word. So by that time, it is table name should be a one word only, right? Here 2 words is this. So by that time it's a wrong. So either we have to put underscore, or either we have to put like this, or either we have to put like this. So these all are the incorrect answers. Clear? Next,
Yes.
type of SQL statements. Next, now you know table name, column name, data types. All using how you have to create the table. To create the table means you need to know what is the creation first. Create command you need to know, right? Now we will discuss those things. Type of SQL statements, type of SQL commands, type of SQL sub languages. Everything is the same. SQL sub languages, SQL statements, SQL commands. Okay, SQL commands, SQL, this all are things. Next, SQL commands or SQL sublanguages or SQL statements. There are 5 types. Without these 5 types, we never write a single statement in the SQL. Without these 5 statements, we never write a single statement in the SQL. Remember that point. If you are writing any statement in the SQL, that should be using these 5 sub languages or 5 command, 5 sub command, this one statements or commands. So one is data DDL commands, DML commands, DCL commands, TCL commands, and DQL commands. And DQL commands. Data definition language, DDL full form. Data manipulation language, DML full form. Data control language, DCL full form. Transaction control language, TCL full form. DQL or DURL. DQL or DRL. DQL means data query language. Data query language. DRL means data retrieval language. Both are same. Data query language or both data retrieval language, both are same. So now here DDL. Create, drop, alter, truncate. There is one more command is there. The command name is rename. Rename. Command name is rename. So DDL commands are 5 types. Data definition language, create, drop, alter, truncate, and rename. DML is having insert, update, delete, merge. One more command is there, insert all. Insert all. But in outside, they will tell only 3 commands only. I believe. I have seen many trainers. They will tell only these 3. Insert, update, and delete. But we have merge and insert all commands also is there. These we can discuss in the advanced concept. These we can discuss in the advanced concepts. So DDL commands are 5 types. Create, drop, alter, truncate, and read. DML commands are the 5 types: insert, update, delete, merge, insert all. DCL is the data control language. We have grant and revoke only. These used by the DBS because they only taking care part of the access issues. Whether they have to provide the access, if they want to grant the access, they have to use the grant. If they want to remove the access, they have to use the revoke. So these things also we can discuss in the topics. Transaction control language. So you know already commit and rollback. Save point will be discussed in the in advanced concept here. See, DCL and TCL we have separate concept. We can discuss that one. Okay. Next to data query language. Already you know. Now we are doing. Anyhow, we will discuss again. So now DDL, how many types, guys? Data definition language, 5 types, 5 commands. 5 commands are there. Create command, alter command, drop command, truncate command, and rename command. DML, insert command, update command, delete command, merge command, insert all command. But initially we will discuss these 3. Remaining merge and insert all, we will discuss in the advanced concept. Any doubts?
Clear.
So that's all for today's session. we will discuss from tomorrow what is the DDL, what is the DML. So as I said previously, first 5 days are free sessions. Today is the fifth day is completed, but still I thought to give one more 2 sessions, DDL and DML. Till complete the DDM and the DML. So I thought to give the free sessions. You can continue, but if you feel it's enough, and if you feel that you wanted to enroll the course, you can contact me for the enrollment. Okay. If anyone is joined newly today, if anyone is having any doubts, this is my contact number. Contact number. And one more thing, last 4 sessions, if anyone is missed,